In today's video, I'm going to show you how to create an epic woodworking business plan. Let's get started. All right, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the podcast. As always, I'm so glad that you're here. And if you don't know me, my name is Zach Vaught, and I started my woodworking business in my garage by myself back in 2017. Really had no idea what the heck I was doing from 2017 to 2020, and learned a lot of business principles along the way. And really from 2020, really started scaling my woodworking business. So I went from my garage to a smaller shop, then went to a commercial space and another commercial space over the next 3 years. Ultimately ended up in a 6,600 square foot space with 7 employees, a showroom, and doing over $70,000 per month in woodworking business sales. And so I want to walk you through today how to build a woodworking business plan that's going to work. A lot of people build business plans that just don't ever work. And so I want to give you 5 tips today that's going to help you build a plan that's going to work. Okay, so number 1 is to set the big vision. Where do you see yourself being in a year? Where do you set yourself being in 5 years, in 10 years? What are your goals and why? Now, one of the most important things that I can tell you is you need to have a really good why. Because a lot of people hear like, oh, well, Zach built a woodworking business and was doing $70,000 a month. That sounds awesome. I want to do the same thing. What you don't see is all the challenges that came with a business that was doing $70,000 a month and having multiple employees and doing 15 to 20 projects per month. That's a lot of work. That's a lot to keep up with. So what are your real goals? Why do you want to have a big business? What are your financial goals? And this is what you need to get clear on as you set out to build a woodworking business. What is the big vision and why? Okay. Now, number 2 is you need to reverse engineer from that big vision to today. So let's say in a year from now, you'd like to have $15,000 per month in sales or $20,000 per month in sales, which by the way, I can get you there in about 90 days. But let's just say that was your goal a year from now. I want to do $15,000 to $20,000 per month. Well, you need to reverse engineer that and say, okay, well, how am I going to get my first $1,000 this month? How am I going to get my first $1,500 this month? And the other thing I would say with this is that you need to understand economics. This is one thing that I see a lot of guys in the woodworking industry really not wrapping their minds around is if I want to take home, say $6,000 a month, let's say that I want to make $72,000 per year from owning a woodworking business. Well, I don't need to sell $6,000 in product. I really need to sell about $10,000 to $12,000 in product because I have to pay for all my materials. I'm going to have overhead. I'm going to have things I have to pay for. So I'm only going to be able to keep, say, 50 to 60% of whatever it is that I generate in revenue. So if I want to bring home $6,000, I need to do $10,000 to $12,000. Well, if I'm trying to build a business and I know that I'm going to need to do $10,000 to $12,000 in sales each month, but I'm selling wooden spoons and that's what I'm making for $25 and it takes me forever to make a wooden spoon, that is not going to work. Like it's not going to be, that's not a profitable business model. So one thing that I'm a huge proponent of, I talk about this all the time, is you need to sell high ticket items, expensive goods. You need to sell things that are $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $10,000. And when you start selling these expensive items, you can do a $2,500 dining table set, guys, in 25 hours of work if you know how to do it, right? Which again, I can teach you how to do it. So when you look at that and you say, okay, well, if I could work 50 hours a week, I could build 2 dining table sets a week. That's $5,000 in total revenue per week, and I can keep, let's say, $2,500 of that. Well, across 4 weeks, I could be making $10,000 a month. So understand your economics. This was not included in my notes, but I was just thinking about it and I wanted you to understand this. Understanding the economics and what you need to be selling to be successful to actually build a business is going to be huge, okay? So that was number 2. Number 3 is create a clear client acquisition plan. This is probably the single greatest thing that keeps woodworkers from growing and scaling. They do not understand how to get new clients. They do not understand how to predictably find new clients. Most of the woodworkers that I talk to, they sell some stuff to friends and family, they make a little bit of money, and they're like, man, I need to go do this full time. Well, the problem is that you run out of friends and family. If you want to do this as a legitimate business, you're going to have to figure out how to put your products in front of strangers and sell them on buying your products. That is what business is. The moment that you can sell things to strangers, you have a legitimate business. And so you need to create a clear client acquisition plan. We talk about this all the time on this channel. If you're trying to figure out how to get more customers, you need to subscribe to this channel. You need to go back and check out some of my other videos. And this is also the #1 system that we implement for all of our clients inside of the Woodworking Business Accelerator program. Consistent predictable ways to acquire clients. So I'm gonna give you a couple examples. Jake Nelson spent $1,000 in advertising and used some organic methods that we taught him last month and generated $22,000 in sales. Keith Long spent $4,000 in advertising, implemented some organic methods, and did $60,000 in sales last month. Tillman, a brand new client inside the Woodworking Business Accelerator program. He just moved here from Germany at the beginning of this year, was struggling in his business, did more in his first month inside of the program than he had done by himself the 7 months prior. And so he did over $40,000 in revenue in his first month inside of the program, spent $1,000 to $1,200 on ads, implemented some organic methods that we taught him. So the biggest bottleneck, the biggest challenge inside of your woodworking business is going to be acquisition, getting clients. It always is the biggest bottleneck, the biggest challenge for people, especially when they're starting. And that's going to be what you're going to need to have a really great plan around. Okay, so that's number 3. Create a clear client acquisition plan. Number 4 is set target benchmark timelines. You need to be saying, in 3 months, this is where I want to be. In 6 months, this is where I want to be. A year from now, this is where I want to be. And you need to really try to adhere to these target benchmarks that you're setting as far as revenue, as far as how much you can get out of the shop, as far as improvements that you're making to your tools and your equipment, as far as when you're hiring employees or moving into a commercial space. This is how you put together a solid plan. You're talking about, in 3 months, I'm going to be here. In 6 months, I'm going to be here. A year from now, I'm going to be here. As you do that and you keep this in front of you, that's the other thing that a lot of people do is they create a business plan and they throw it in a drawer somewhere and never look at it. You need to keep these goals in front of you on a consistent basis so that you can see, hey, am I on track to hit my goals, or am I way off base? And if I'm way off base, why? Why am I so far away from hitting my goals? And if you keep it in front of you and you realize that you're off track, then you can start looking for answers and finding solutions to the problems that are keeping you from hitting your goals. Okay, so that is number 4, set target benchmark timelines. Number 5, this one is huge, is get clear on who you're gonna sell to and what you're gonna sell. Too many woodworkers jump in as a woodworking business and they say, oh, we'll do whatever comes our way. That's really not how you want to build your business. Now, I think we all kind of build our business that way out of desperation, but why do that if you don't have to, right? That shouldn't be the ultimate goal for you. What you should do is you should get really clear on, like, you know what? These are the products that I'm passionate about. These are the products that are profitable. And this is the target market that I'm going to market and sell those products to. And so for me, what we found was 90%, 95% of our business that I scaled to $70,000 per month was dining table furniture that we sold was women between the ages of 25 and 60 that are moms, grandmas, wives, and they care about their home. Those are the people that we sold to predominantly. That was what we built our business on, and that was what we focused on when we got clear on what we were going to sell and who we were going to sell it to. So those are your 5 tips, and then I have a 6th one for you completely for free, and that is this. Realize that business plans are living, breathing documents. You're not going to write a business plan and ever adhere to it perfectly, because you're going to face challenges that are going to cause you to need to adapt and change over time. And you need to be able to do that instead of being bullheaded on a business plan just because you wrote it down. You're going to need to be able to see, what is the market actually telling me is valuable, and should I shift to a different product line or selling it to a different person or a different way of marketing and selling it so that I can be successful. Ultimately, business plans are made for the people. The people are not made for the business plan. So use the business plan to help you accomplish your goals. Don't feel like you have to just stick and adhere to this business plan. So with that being said, I got a couple resources for you. Number 1 is the Handmade Business Secrets ebook. It's completely free to you. It's the first link in the description below, and it really outlines my journey from going from a complete newbie in my garage to doing $70,000 a month. And I'm going to show you exactly how I do that inside of that book. It's around 90 pages long. It's a pretty quick read, and it's going to open your eyes and show you some things that you're currently not seeing on your journey to growing your woodworking business. Number 2 is the Handmade Hero Academy program, and this is a low-cost investment that's really going to help you get off the ground and start selling high-ticket items. It's going to help you get some traction, and if you sell one high-ticket item, one from what you learn inside that program, it's going to pay for itself. I highly encourage you to check it out and invest in it. Lastly, is if you're ready to go to $10, $20, $30, $40, $50,000 per month, if you're a serious player, you want to make this a legit side hustle or make this your full-time gig, I cannot recommend the Woodworking Business Accelerator program enough. Obviously, I'm biased, but I really do believe that this is the single greatest program in the woodworking space because you're going to get a lot of incredibly valuable coaching, information, advertising strategies that are going to not only help you sell more, but help you scale your operations as you do. You're going to get a personalized sales coach. You're going to get a personalized productivity and production and systems coach. You're going to get access to all the other guys in the program all across North America. You're going to get access to one-on-one coaching and all the content that I've packaged from my own woodworking business. Like I said, I'm a little bit biased, but I believe that this is the single greatest resource that I can offer you on your journey if you're serious about growing your woodworking business. So all those resources are in the description below. If you haven't subscribed, if you haven't checked out all of our other videos, make sure you're doing that. We have hundreds of videos all around every topic imaginable for woodworking businesses. It's going to help you on your journey. But with that being said, subscribe. I love you. I'll see you in the next one. If you do not know me, my name, you may leave that in, to be honest. That's pretty good. Oh man, good stuff.